From humble beginnings. To growth and evolving. And the arrival. This is First GenXers.
Poetic beat. Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Cheap Pop Podcast. That's right here on Twitch TV, First Gen Xers, of course. Myself, Dark Lord 100, Dave over there, Mr. Rune Scryer, and also Agent K28, better known as the Saint, are here to talk to you about some of the most popular subjects in pop culture. A little bit of, sweaty men grabbing each other and throwing each other around. And then we talk about, what grown men shouldn't be talking about at all, those video games. But we love
Well,
to
it
do
is Pride
Man,
Month,
fuck
so
that. I am
it.
never not going to not stop talking about video games. Get the
well,
fuck out of here,
Well,
bro.
let's open there, gentlemen. Let's open there, just for a
Yeah, let's
random
let's 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 let's
like.
talk
Hey,
about it.
throw you a subject here.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot. I've been dealing with my stuff with romanticism and relationships and so on and so forth recently, and I've been seeing this consistent thread amongst the creators. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that the how do you say, the content creators, where they talk about this. Most are saying it's wrong, some are saying it's right. This thought process that as a man, to be playing video games at the age of 25, 35, 40, 45 is childish. And I specifically make sure my air quotes are seen because I personally think that's ridiculous, or else obviously I wouldn't be doing this. But I don't get where it comes from, or should I say, I do sort of get where it comes from, but I don't understand why in today's society we're still thinking like this. Like the primary group of adult gaming players are people that came up playing video games that grew up and were alive through the advent from the Atari, from arcade games all the way through to Nintendo, to Super Nintendo, and now the PlayStation 4, 5, and the Xbox X and Series X and so on and so forth. Second of all, let me just state this before I let you guys go off on it. Video games are too damn expensive for children nowadays. Let's just be honest like that. Like arcade games, when that was saying that was for kids, fine, that's cool. You give a kid $10 in quarters, he's there all day. But nowadays, gaming systems are $500, $600, $700 a piece, and there's not many 10-year-olds that can afford that. But mommy and daddy can, and daddy show can. So Saint, take us off to begin with your thoughts on the idea that as an older man, you shouldn't be playing those video games. That's for them kids.
Okay. First of all, we are the generation. We're the generation that fueled that fueled video games. So why not?
Yeah. Very
Okay.
true.
The adults, our parents, were the ones that was like, oh, you got to hook that up to the TV, or it's gonna fuck your TV up, and it's gonna be this and that and this and that and stuff. Like, I don't want that on my, I don't want to put that on my big screen TV. Okay, but as adults, we make our own choices and we decide to go, hey, I might want to play something on a screen, because as the years have gone by, the games have advanced even further. And I will tell you this is why there is now, I guess, the ESRB when it comes to gaming, because most of the games that are generated or tailor made should be for adults.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. No kid in any way, shape, form, or fashion, no way, and I mean absolutely no fucking way. What it, no, it shouldn't be like there
Well,
should be no kids playing. No, it should be no kids playing games like GTA,
yeah.
Max Payne, and stuff like that. Because I will tell you this.
But can we say that when we were mere kids playing GTA and Max Payne?
No, because I'm
Eh,
because you know what? Because see, by the time games like Max Payne and stuff like that, I was already in my 20s.
okay, yeah, you were a grown man.
I was already, yeah,
Yeah,
I was
Yeah.
already a grown ass man. And plus, on top of that, the kinds of stories. I mean, you know what? Blame Metal Gear. Blame Metal Gear. Blame Metal Gear Solid, because that was one of the first narrative games that actually took on real life events.
yeah, yeah,
It really took on it, and it took a life of its own. And that is one of the reasons why the storytelling has been paramount to, for so many other different genres.
yeah,
You know, GTA 3 being the first real true open world game that took off without a hesitation.
yeah.
So, and this was made for adults. This was not made for kids.
Well,
I'm sorry.
it,
No,
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 I
it
agree
really,
one
no,
hundred
no,
percent.
no. When there's a reason why there's M on the game,
Yeah, no, 100%.
and
Like
then
the
with the parents, sometimes, and because like for me, I didn't let my kids play GTA. Get the
yeah.
fuck out of here.
Well,
I did not let my kids play GTA.
well, the thing
But
about it is, I wouldn't say that. And Dave, I want to let you go right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that video games are not made for kids. It's because at the end of the day, like I tell people, I always say with the stuff with like Mortal Kombat, don't let your kids play Mortal Kombat. That's funny. I played Mortal Kombat always as a kid. I never once went out and tried to throw a fireball at anybody. Um, it,
Hmm.
it's a matter of teaching your kids the difference between reality and not reality. But Dave, I'll
And
let you go
that's
from
the
there.
and
okay.
that's the reason for my kids.
Yeah, for sure.
So, okay, a couple points. So, first of all, I'm going to put the question to both of you. How much do you think the Atari 2600 would cost in 2024 dollars?
Probably close to like 700, 800 bucks.
No, actually, it's a lot. It's a lot more than that.
Yeah, if you go by
It's a lot more than
inflation,
that.
like yeah, some
Yeah.
ridiculous
Mm.
amount that it's not worth.
Okay, okay. So, Kev, you're pretty much on the nose. $840 according to IGN at when adjusted for inflation. That is the Atari 2600 price point. So, you know, it, the console itself, it's always been a major purchase
Yeah,
from the very beginning. It has always
Right.
been a household purchase. So the other thing is, there is there's been a culture of the electronic babysitter for a long time, not just starting with us.
yeah,
Okay, but when I got my first Xbox, all the way back when I demo played um, Knights of the Old Republic on the Xbox in Best Buy, and I went out and bought a brand new Xbox console with Knights of the Old Republic. There was an elderly lady in the GameStop,
Mhm.
and she was asking about various video games for her grandchild. And we're talking GTA, we're talking Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball. Okay.
The fuckery.
These are the things that her grandchild asked for. Okay.
Yeah,
And she didn't know.
grandma didn't know
But
what she was buying.
right.
Yeah.
But your
And
kids probably knew what was buying and
Oh
oh
wasn't.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, even before us, our parents were of the generation of, well, just sit them down in front of the radio and have them listen to Adventures of Superman or, oh, I'm sorry, or Green Hornet or Lone Ranger or even, the TV westerns, Zorro and other stuff back in the 50s, the 40s and 50s.
Yeah,
Um,
I went through that.
yeah,
My
and
father was a fan of that stuff. So yeah,
yeah,
he
and we
still
just,
listens to it now.
oh yeah, I listen to old time radio stuff too, but
Yeah.
we were the ones. I mean, when you look at some of the stuff that we were watching, that our parents just, you know, let us watch while they did other stuff around the house. I mean, like Battle of the Planets, toned down, yeah, but the original Gatchaman is really violent. I
I,
mean,
I was gonna say.
Lid,
Go ahead.
Lidsville,
Yeah. I'll say
freaking Lidsville. Anyone
I
wonder why so many of Gen X got on the weed? You know,
uh Well, I'll
we
say
were growing up.
I
We were
I
growing up on
saw
Lidsville.
when I was a kid. Here's what it was. Is again,
Yep.
we all were one of the first like latchkey generations. We were
No, we
Right.
are the first
right.
latchkey. We are.
We
We
Right.
are. We're it.
we
This
are
was it.
and it was partially because we came during a time in which the whole landscape of family dynamic was changing. Mom wasn't
Yes.
staying at home to cook and clean and take care of the kids and make sure homework was done. Sometimes both parents had to go work.
Yep.
Things were kind of changing, and I think our exposure to things that maybe if we were born in the 40s, in the 30s, we wouldn't have necessarily they would have been a more concerted effort to protect us from. And I use this example right here. By the time I was what 9, 10 years old, my mom had cable TV. We were an upper middle class family growing up. We didn't
Yeah.
struggle too hard. There was a struggle to it. We lived in the ghetto, but we didn't struggle too hard. So we had cable, and my mom, being my mom, if you're gonna do something, do it right. Had HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, had all the movie channel, Disney Channel, of course, for me, all that.
Right.
After about 10, 11 o'clock, mom and dad are asleep on Fridays.
Yeah.
And along would come shows like Red Shoe Diaries,
Hmm.
various other random movies.
The era of Skinamax. Yeah.
And there was no parental lock. At least my mom didn't put one on.
Right.
Like she for the most part unaware. She was knocked out in her bed while I was watching this
Yeah.
stuff. So
Right.
at the
Yeah.
end of the day, when I think of what our our generation was exposed to, I think it's a little bit of why we kind of have this I don't give mentality about a lot of shit. It's like,
Right.
it could be
But
worse,
but
but I agree with you, Dave, that it's like when you look at the overall scope of it, the video games that were being bought back then, really what made a lot of them harmless was the graphics, was
right.
8-bit graphics.
But
Games like Double Dragon are literally a dude walking around and beating the shit out of everybody because
right.
somebody grabbed his girlfriend and walked away.
Yeah. Exactly. But also, take a look at what we were watching as kids
Yeah.
in there. I mean, GI Joe. I mean, they set off nukes to destroy the Cobra base, and everyone is safe. You know,
10
the
years of
plane
war and barely like
plane
3 people die.
Yeah, and the one death that they have, they retcon.
Yeah.
They re-edit the film. Okay, so it's and
Duke,
then
Duke.
compare that to Robotech,
Yeah. Oh
which
my
holy shit, Roy's dead.
That was
God.
listen. That was all. Listen, I will tell you this: some of the most violent cartoons during that era. Like, listen, there was um, there was Star Blazers.
Oh yeah,
Okay, there was Voltron.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, you know Voltron had its own taste of violence,
Yeah.
and then of
yeah.
course, but the
Yeah, we watched the
Paramount,
monster get sliced in half every episode.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
no, but
again,
but
and
but
again, they had to do edits to Voltron to for some of the violence. I mean, Battle of the Planets. You know why they created Seven Zark Seven, the robot? It wasn't just to cash in on R2D2. Okay, they had to create those shorts to add to the episodes to make
the
up for
educational
everything.
shit.
No, no, it wasn't for educational because of all the stuff they had to cut out of the original Gatchaman
Really?
series for the
Yeah,
violence. Yeah, I mean, Princess with that yo-yo of hers, she was when she was throwing it, that thing had a spike, and she was shoving it in dudes' necks,
Oh.
killing them. You know, people getting straight
I'll
up killed and blood.
I'll be
And
honest with you, right? I know you guys are into anime, and
yeah,
I think that's where a lot of the kids that are finding the adult stuff that is in
right.
kid is where they're finding it, because like my daughter watches a show called Spy Family,
Mm-hmm.
and it is an amazing show. Don't get me wrong. We're about to watch season 3 here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I've sat there and watched the mother in the show stab somebody in the neck. She's an assassin, and I've watched her stab somebody straight up in the side of the neck, blood gushing, and I'm like, oh, this is what you're watching.
Yeah.
Okay, you know,
Um,
but go ahead.
but I agree, and the part of that is the cultural differences between Japan and the United States, where the United States is coming from, a very puritanical foundation in morality and ideas. But more than that, it gets back to something you said, Kev, which is the parenting,
Hmm.
which is that you need to take the time to parent the kids. And
Yeah,
that's something that's slowly getting lost for various reasons.
yeah. There's a
Okay.
lot of reasons
You
why.
know, for a lot of reasons. But when I was in high school, okay, um, I remember you remember that film Blind Date with Bruce Willis?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
hell
definitely.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to go out with my boys and see that. And my mom sat me down and she said that she didn't want me to go see it because it portrays bad behavior. I'm 15 years old, and she's not wanting me to go see this film that I understand is this is supposed to be a comedy, but she was taking the time. I mean, I didn't see Jaws until I was 14 years old.
Wow.
Okay.
Damn,
My
bro.
mom took me to the drive-in to go see it.
Yeah,
Like,
Hell
mom's
exactly.
yeah.
cold.
And some of that is overprotectiveness. Yeah,
Went to
but
the
then
Coliseum drive-in. Oh Jesus,
yeah,
stop making me old, bruh.
but
Fuck.
when I finally saw Jaws, and I had a lot of friends who had seen the film. They were wearing T-shirts and everything like that. And when I finally saw it, at age 14, I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe my mom was right not to let me see it when it first came out.
Well,
You
here's
know?
one for you.
Yeah,
Before I bring us back to subject, uh,
sure.
My mother allowed me to watch along with my cousin. Now, mind you, this was what I'll call AMA, against mother's advice,
Yeah.
but she allowed me to watch it anyway. It was a small movie about a little doll called Child's Play.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who are not old enough to know this, y'all know Chucky from the TV series now.
Yeah.
Yeah, before there was Chucky, there was Child's Play. Before there was Annabelle, there was Child's Play. I know chronologically, no, Annabelle is basically dated back to the actual Annabelle doll is dated back to the 50s. But as far as my horror movie
Yeah. Yeah.
watching experience, yes, Chucky came along
Okay.
before
Oh,
whatchamacallit. And
and
my mother happily let me watch that, to which to finish up the story, I did not sleep for a week.
yeah,
I would not
I
close my eyes at night.
No, I tell you what, and still to this day, my father didn't allow me to go see ET because he thought it was, like it was the ultimate, like really the ultimate sappy white kid story with, with the kid and the alien and stuff. Like
Elliot.
he didn't even allow me to play the Atari game. So that, thank God I did. But
Yeah.
I still, to this day, I still have not seen ET.
oh
Really?
Yeah, I
Wow.
still have not. I still have not seen ET.
My personal opinion, you're missing out. When I first saw it in the theater, I cried. Not because,
yeah
now mind you, I know everybody hears that and they go, yeah, E.T., he died. No, that wasn't why I was crying. The music was so loud in the theater, in the indoor theater that we were at, that like I had to put the thing over my head and the music freaked me out.
yeah
Like my mom, my sister, my brother all tell me like, yeah, we took you to go see it in the theaters and like you wasn't having none of it. And but when I watched it at home, I was fine. Like
yeah
I did cry when ET died, Elliot, and all that. Like
yeah
I did, but in the theater, it was just too much. It was too much. It was sensory overload
yeah.
for me.
I ET
Oh,
was yeah
real quick. I want to go ahead and give a pristine shout out to Big J Bo in the building,
What's up? What's up?
representing first gen Xers. That's what's up.
hey,
One of our new admins coming in.
Nice, nice.
So thank you.
Welcome to the
welcome.
show. Welcome to the
Continue.
team. Go on,
Oh
Dave.
yeah, always.
Yeah, no, but
Continuing there.
for me, ET is just kind of like the only
Yeah,
reason why I was really interested in it was I read the novelization first, the little you know paperback,
yeah,
and oh man, these kids are playing D&D. Awesome. That got cut out of the final film,
yeah.
but
All right, so I'm gonna bring us back to subject for final thoughts, gentlemen. Are video games for children, or are they currently being made more to gear towards the adult population? I say adult based off of pricing and content. Dave, you?
Oh yeah, adults. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
uh, I say that the kid from the I get is it the T-Mobile commercial? Why not both?
True, true.
You take a look at like me playing Ayuden Chronicle, 100 Heroes. That is an example of something that can be played by kids, but also has a mature storyline, an adult storyline in
Very
there.
much so.
Um, and I think that that's something that the Japanese are able to do much better than the Americans.
Yeah.
The Americans have kind of forgotten. Like, you look at the old Looney Tunes, the old Chuck Jones era stuff,
Yeah.
and
Right.
you've got the multi-level stuff.
Yeah.
You've got the stuff the kids get and laugh at, and then you've got
Stuff.
the extra layer that the adults get. That's still funny.
Very much so. Very
Right.
And
much so.
I think that it's not a bad thing that you have stuff that has the crossover like that. Um, there's a quote from C.S. Lewis, the writer of the Chronicles of Narnia, where he basically says, you know, when I became a man, I stopped, the quote from the Bible about, transitioning from childhood to manhood.
Yeah.
I left my childish ways behind, and that includes being afraid of being thought of as childlike.
Very much so. Very much
It
so.
should, when you're young, you should want to grow,
Right.
but there's nothing wrong with keeping that inner kid in you alive into your 50s, 60s, 70s, right up until the day you die. There's nothing wrong with enjoying childish things in there.
Right.
It's
Yep.
not it's not negative. And again, it gets back to the whole, puritanical foundation of America, where it's like, no, you must do this, this, this,
You
and
must fit
this.
in this box.
You
Yep.
must you must fit into these boxes. You must be an adult. You must blah 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 blah.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Saint, your thoughts?
Let me just put it to you this way: as I am now approaching the double nickel in approximately 45 to 48 days, I will say this. I have gone through pretty much all of the stages: childhood, young adulthood, midlife crisis, and now I am come to the after 50 part. Um, the only thing that I can say, you have to be able to keep a youth life energy,
Yep.
because I mean, I have felt that, many of you guys know that I have had, health problems. Oh, on top of that, let me just say, sidebar, welcome in Roxy Hart 82, founder
Hey.
of Black Gamers United. And thank you so much for tapping in. But back to the rest of the stuff. Um, like I said, as I have been through most of the phases of this, some things have changed, but when it comes to my gaming, um, it's just so many different types of levels. I have done things with in my youth when I was playing games like combat and stuff. And I guess the graphics weren't, I guess they weren't really threatening. But then as I've gotten older and with my kids, and you see a lot of the adult content that was coming up, even with games, not necessarily just GTA or Max Payne, but just some of the other crazy raunchier games, kind of like Dead or Alive or stuff like that. And my whole thing is that it depends just on the generation and your mindset. It's
Mhm.
pretty much the mindset, because you know that if you're an adult, you have to be educated when it comes to gaming, because a lot of these adults out here with parents, they'll be like, oh, we don't, do this and this, and you know they don't keep up with the times. And then you end up saying, oh well, we're going to play this, we're going to go out and get you this game and this and that, and they don't get the information. And then the next thing some kid on some news channel gets influenced by a game that
Mhm.
is otherwise violent, and then they start doing some extra shit.
Yeah.
And
A
you
little bit too
know
much.
yeah, and that's one of the reasons why parents need to be educated on gaming and where it's at, because
Well,
it's mostly with adults.
hold on.
Yeah.
I'll say it like this. I think with this generation, that is not as much of an issue. And the reason why I say it is because most of the adults are playing video games as well.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing with it. Like when my dad watched cartoons with me. Don't get me wrong, but my dad never, very rarely ever played video games with me. He didn't understand them. He played
Yeah.
the Atari games and stuff like that. But once we got up to the Nintendo, now Super Nintendo stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. you come over to my house. My parents owned a Super Nintendo, and I owned a PlayStation. My dad would play his Super Nintendo, and they both owned Game Boy Advances. But at the time in which it was just coming up, my parents were in their 40s, 30s, 40s.
Mhm.
They didn't understand what this home console stuff was, and they weren't really trying to
Right.
get into it. But now,
Yeah.
this generation of 30 and 40-year-olds have been playing games since they were two, have been gaming on home consoles since they were 2, 3 years old. And so I think that this particular generation of adults has a better grip on video games and what they are, and the content of them than any generation before them, than like our parents or our parents' parents. Like
And
To a
like I
degree, to a degree. Now,
yeah.
to a degree, and I'm gonna say this because, like, my father and my father, and I'm glad he's still around. My father did not grasp technology not until he started seeing some of the things, some of the things that kind of improved his life. So, he was a really serious late bloomer. Like, I'll say within the last 30, maybe within the last 30 years, when I started showing him some of the basics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like I said, it just depends on your grasp of,
All right, Dave.
how you do.
Last word.
and and I also think that it's a what's also dependent is doing like what Saint did and parent your child. Don't just think, okay, this says
It's a
this is
video game, so it's for
available.
a kid.
It's a video game for it's for a kid. This is on TV, so it's okay to watch,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Hmm.
Actively get involved in your kids' interests, even if you don't understand them.
Very much
Understand
so.
these, and that's what breaks the cycle, and that's you know the big push in Disney now is breaking those generational cycles
Yeah.
of trauma, of doing things the same way, of you know just
Yeah.
and just being better parents. And that's something that, and all of our parents were great.
Yeah.
They were wonderful. But
Exactly.
there's a lot of parents that still just want to put their kid in front of the electronic babysitter
Oh, yeah.
and not think about it because they don't understand it. And that's that's what has to be broken
Yeah.
in
For sure.
there.
All
Yeah.
right. So we'll close on that. Who knew? Who knew what would start out as a simple question would end up with a half-hour segment? But that's what the Cheap Pop Podcast is all about. All right,
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
So here we go. As usual, the first thing we do, or first thing we would normally do, outside of answering a hot question like that, is Pop Culture Corner. That's right, y'all. That's right. That's right. Right here, Agent K28, Rune Scryer, and myself. We're going to talk this week again a little bit. We're going to try to keep these answers short and sweet, gentlemen. We want to wrap this up at the hour mark, but you got about half hour to do. So I'm going to take
Okay.
us through some of these movies, okay? We're going to open
Okay.
up with something that I know both of you guys are looking forward to. So, Saint, I'll let you kick us off with Transformers 1. What are your thoughts on that coming up?
Okay. Um, I would like to see the origins of coming in from the Transformers for Cybertron to know the story, because we did get a brief introduction of Transformers at the beginning of the first series back in 1983 or 84. So
84.
yeah, so I definitely am on board just to see why the Decepticons and the Autobots split factions, and I'm pretty sure that Optimus Prime, I don't know what his name would be before Optimus Prime for
Orion Pax.
Megatron. Okay, so I just want to see how the stories work out.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
for
Right.
sure. Dave.
Um, I have mixed feelings about it because um, Transformers is something near and dear to my heart, but at the same time, um, the 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 Bay movies
Hmm.
and the TV series, they've the newer animated series, they've steadily shown that they're not looking towards me as an audience
Hmm.
member. I
Okay.
mean, like second Transformers film, uh, when you got Skids and Mudflap, or Amos Bot and Andytron, as I call them. You remember those really bad voice accents
Yeah.
for the two? Yeah,
Yeah, they were the ice
and
cream truck and the I forget what the other one was.
yeah, but even more, uh, when they got a when they're looking at the message, and one of them's like, "Read what you think we are." Blah, blah. It's like, oh, wait, just wait, leading into the hood stereotype there. That's just really, yeah, really great. I mean, then they could have just said, "Oh man, we can't read that. You need to be encoded as a prime to read that." I mean, simple,
Yeah.
simple, simple fix.
Yeah.
But um, getting back to the point, there is a shit ton of lore for Transformers from the comic books, from the Marvel comic books on, that is an incredibly detailed world. I mean, universal origins, I mean, literal creation of the universe and all that stuff, and how everything spread out. It's more than just the animated series, the Bay films, and all that.
Yeah.
So, but the other thing that I have mixed feelings about is that this is going to be the first major theatrical release without Peter Cullen voicing Optimus Prime.
Okay.
I mean, and it's going to have to happen at some point, but I still don't know if I'm ready for that. You
Fair
know,
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah,
it's
I
I
can see that.
agree.
Well,
I
it,
you know,
agree.
it's I'm not, no shade on Chris Hemsworth,
yeah.
but it's just kind of like um
All you can
yeah,
do is give them a shot. There's been
yeah,
Yeah,
multiple
exactly,
people
because
that I felt similar about, and all you got to do is give them a shot. If
right,
I say look at whatever the movie is going to be about and decide if the story in the
right,
movie is something you want to see as opposed to who's doing what.
right,
You know what I'm saying? But I feel
right.
you on that. That like you said, it would been. It's just like with What If season 2. I
Hmm.
believe is not that's no longer Chadwick Boseman voicing T'Challa, and there wasn't a
Yeah,
huge difference in the voice, but it was enough
yeah.
that it was noticeable.
It's that it's you know no more Kevin Conroy. It's Batman.
Yeah,
That kind of stuff. I
that's
mean,
the worst.
yeah,
yeah,
That to me, that is the worst. Like, who the fuck is gonna be Batman for the next,
and
for the next?
there's been good Batman voices. I mean, Diedrich Bader
yeah.
Yeah,
has
he's
been
good.
fantastic. Bruce Greenwood has been fantastic in
He's been
Young
great.
Justice. Yeah, but yeah, Kevin Conroy, greatest Batman of all, animated, live action, I don't care, whatever, what have you, it is Kevin Conroy. He is
There
And
you
Batman.
go.
his
All
But
and
right.
his
yeah,
last movie.
and yeah, but yeah, see, it's what Peter Cullen is, and
Yeah.
Peter Cullen, being, Optimus
Optimus.
Prime. Yeah,
Well,
and
here's the thing about it. Another thing about it is this is supposed to be a younger version of Optimus, so
right,
you
and
would
that's
expect there to be a difference in the voice compared to the Optimus now.
right.
And
So
And
that's the only reason I'm watching it.
right, but and that's the other thing is that like I said, it's being made for a different audience.
right.
It's you know it's leaning a little too much into the immature comedic
Okay.
stuff in a lot of ways, or at least that's why I felt a lot of the current animated stuff has been in there.
Right.
I mean, we're talking, yeah, there were goof ups in the original animated series. There were continuity errors
Yeah.
in there, but it was pretty hardcore for the time.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
pretty good.
Optimus Prime getting killed in the movie and watching the blue and red just fade into shades of gray.
Man, that brought a tear, yeah, to a young
Yeah,
Kevin's eye.
exactly.
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
I was kind of mad about that. I
Again,
actually,
um,
yeah,
I was mad
it
about that, bro.
it does it shows that you can have mature storytelling in stuff that is primarily marketed as a kids
as a kid
thing,
thing, yeah,
and that's what I think that is missing out of the current generation
for sure.
of Transformers media, both live action um, and the animated stuff, is that level of mature storytelling in there. I mean, did we really need to see literally Devastator's balls in the live action Transformers? I mean, just looking
It made me
right up.
laugh. It made me laugh.
That, I mean,
But all right,
I personally
yeah,
no. Let's yeah.
all right.
Moving on.
So
Moving on.
yeah,
Yeah.
so just for those wrapping it up for you guys, September 20th this year is when it's due out. Starring, like you said, Chris Hemsworth, Brian Tyree Henry, Scarlett Johansson, Key Michael Keegan, Steve Buscemi, and Lawrence Fishburne and John Hamm are all lending
right.
their voice talents to the movie. The next movie that we're going to be kind of glazing over here is due out. It says it came out May 17th in 2024. So I guess it came out this year. It's called The Strangers Chapter 1. Have not had a chance to go see it. It's based on the
Okay.
horror film series
Hold on. I'll be
uh,
right back.
in the Strangers series and the first installment of an intended relaunch in the form of a standalone trilogy. It's directed by Rennie Harlin and it has a screenplay by Alan Cohen and Alan Friedland. And it's from a story by Brian Bertino, the director of the
Oh,
first film.
Rennie Harlan now. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
To quote Obi-Wan.
like
Yeah.
it looks like I said I was never really into horror movies. I guess you could say Child's Play and the movie Dolls kind of scared me off of that genre, but my ex was,
Yeah.
and she got me back into it with the Conjuring series, so on and so forth. Never had a chance
Right.
to see one of these Strangers films,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. The Strangers, the original film, I just did a quick check. That was 2008. So it's really soon for a relaunch. But this is the couple staying out in the cabin in the woods. And there's all of a sudden there's folks wearing masks that are, you know, pounding on the door and
and
disrupting their
messing with yeah.
lives and messing with them. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I mean,
I probably won't go see it, but it's on the
yeah,
list of what's coming out.
yeah. It's just there's nothing really there to grasp, and I realize that it's a nice psychological horror break from the torture porn that horror films have turned into,
Mm.
but um, eh,
Eh,
just not quite for me. It
all right.
you
What
know
about you, Saint?
Okay. Well, let me because I had to step away. Which movie?
We're
the
talking about The
strangers.
Strangers, Chapter 1.
I have not had the opportunity to really take a look at that. I did see a trailer,
Mhm.
but from what I saw, I have to dive deeper into a little bit of
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
nothing that caught your eye. All right, so the next movie that we have is a upcoming American science fiction horror film. It's the seventh installment in this particular franchise, and is set between the events of the first movie and the second movie. It's directed by Fede Alvarez, and who co-wrote it with Rodo Sags. The film was produced by Scott Free Productions, Brandywise Productions, and it stars Kaylee Spaney as Rain Carradine, David Johnson as Andy, Archie Renault as Tyler, and Isabel Merced as Kay. For those of
What
you
film
who
is this
don't
you cut
know,
out? You
what's
cut
that?
out. What film is this you cut out when you were doing the title?
Oh, sorry. Oh no, I didn't say the title.
Oh,
I just gave a bunch of facts about it.
gotcha.
The
Gotcha.
name of the
Okay.
movie, the title I was about to get to, which is Alien Romulus. It's an
Oh,
upcoming movie that's due out August of this year. So, gentlemen, it's set between the events of Alien and Aliens. The story concerns a group of young space colonists who, while scavenging a derelict space station, come face to face with the most terrifying life form in their universe.
Okay. Can I kick this off, please?
Go for it.
go.
Okay. First of all, the story that really should have been put out is actually a movie adaptation of the game.
Okay.
Which
Okay.
one?
We're talking
Isolation?
about Isolation
Yeah.
with Ellen Ripley's daughter.
Yeah.
How and if there is no reference between with Ellen Ripley for this movie and the 57 years between that and that second one, I don't have nothing to say about it. But I know they need to make some reference towards her daughter though,
All right. All
because
right.
yeah,
Saints.
that was a really good ass game. It
Yeah.
should have been
Yeah.
made it should have been made a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, the Aliens series is one that's near and dear to my heart, but again, it's one that I don't think has ever really recovered from Alien 3, in that it also suffers in that lore wise, the comics that Dark Horse were putting out in the Alien universe were so much better than anything the that any of the big film adaptations. And that's I, Ridley Scott, legendary director, love his stuff, but Prometheus really jumped the shark even more than what we had with Alien 3.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just
Trash, low key trash.
yeah, yeah, it really was. And it's just um I, I don't know at this point. It's like, I'm going to check it out on video, and who knows, you um I'm just going to wait for this one to be streaming. It's
He's like, yeah, we're not gonna spend money on that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure. For sure. All right. So the next movie due up that we're talking about in our list here is an upcoming American superhero film featuring a Marvel Comics character. It's produced by Columbia Films in association with Marvel and distributed by Sony. It is intended to be a sequel to the first two movies and the fifth film in Sony's Spider-Man universe. Written and directed by Kelly Marcel, the film stars Tom Hardy um, alongside Juno Temple, Chewe. Oh my goodness, I'm not even gonna butcher that name. And Clark Backo. It is due out.
Should we allow you for?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
It is
You
due out.
gotta go with what
Uh,
you gotta go with what Duel said. Why doesn't he just change his name to Chet Ford? You remember that
yeah.
back when
Hey,
he really started? Yeah, but yeah.
hey man, it would work out. Well, I'll say, but
Woo
yeah,
shit. I'm sorry. I'm
for
sorry.
those of you who don't know, we are talking about Venom: The Last Dance, And gentlemen, Dave, go ahead and kick us off with your thoughts on this
Um,
upcoming film.
I'm I'm not going to give any thoughts on Venom because I'm really not a fan of Venom.
Uh,
Uh, I just find it to be it's extreme for extreme's sake, and it's I kind of feel that Venom is Marvel's version of Watchmen for DC, in that whenever sales are dipping,
uh,
Marvel goes to the symbiote well to dip into it to bring sales back up,
yeah.
and it
Damn,
just
Dave, that's fucked up, bro.
Uh,
it's just there's really been nothing kind of compel. I think he works better as a villain than an anti-hero
uh,
because I mean Punisher and Deadpool are kind of the line that I draw when it comes to anti-heroes, where it's like, okay, I'm cool up to this point,
uh,
but no further. When you start getting into the whole body horror torture aspect of Venom as an anti-hero towards the bad guys, that's where like I'm out. Yeah,
yeah.
you know, and it's just it's trying to tack on psychological storytelling to justify just going extreme 90s.
He said extreme 90s. For sure. Saint.
Madam Web, Netflix. Thanks.
Uh
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
there you go. All right, so the next movie that's on our list is due out this year
Fuck.
as well. I am not a huge fan of this as some other may be. It's an upcoming American superhero film. That's where they first turned me off. Directed by Rupert Sanders from a screenplay by Zach Balin and Will Snyder. It's based on a 1989 limited comic book series by the same name by James O'Barr. It will be the fifth installment in this film series, serving as its reboot and remake of the 1994 film of the same name. This film stars Bill Skarsgård and as the main character. Um, yeah, I'm
Don't you
not here
even
for.
dare. Don't you even dare say that name.
Is it stuck in your craw?
Brandon Lee, Brandon Lee forever.
Yeah.
Fuck anybody else that played that role.
I'm
Look.
of the same one. Now, the thing about the Crow series
Uh,
is that it's a different protagonist every time. It's not just Eric Draven coming back.
yeah.
Okay. And so
Eric Draven was one
that
story of the Crow stories.
exactly, he's the
Exactly.
original story, and it's not him always coming back to do it's somebody coming back to avenge the the unjust, you know,
It's the
circumstances
same
of their
basic
death.
storyline, but it's not the
Right,
same character.
exactly, exactly. And there's subtleties in there. Um, I don't have a problem with more Crow films, okay? And Bill Skarsgård, dude, is amazing. You know, Pennywise in It and a ton of other roles. He is fantastic. My problem is I agree with you, Saint. This should not be a remake of Eric Draven's story.
Yeah.
This should not be a reboot. This should have been a new story with a new protagonist.
Hold on, say before you go.
Yeah, I
Rimscar, I
saw
agree
that.
with you completely because to me, City of Angels should have been the same thing. Like City of Angels should have been somebody else in a different situation coming back to avenge somebody that they love instead of them
Right,
trying to continue on the Eric Craven story. That's where I felt like with City of Angels they went wrong. Bruce Lee died not just because of the way that the comic books were compared to the movies, but because Bruce Lee
Brandon,
died
sir.
and that or not Bruce Lee,
Brandon.
Brandon Lee died on the set of that movie, and that movie is encapsulated in its own like shell, like it's a special movie, and it will be like forever. So like they
Yeah.
shouldn't have even tried to continue that story. It should have been okay. That was perfect. It wrapped up. Now here's another Crow story. Go on, Sam.
No, no. What I was gonna say is that everything after the first movie was a dumpster fire, including the TV show. Okay,
Yes.
because Eric Draven was in the TV show. Like, how the fuck do you do that?
Yeah.
And
Now,
then he's walking on the street, and then all of a sudden he turns into the crow with the like,
What
yeah.
the?
like
Yeah, I
it
never gave that
And
any of my time.
and the
oh, real
reason
quick,
why, yeah, go
real
ahead.
quick, because there's a chat, or there's like a question or a thought. Um, Big J Bo is saying, oh, first of all, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Be More Humble Gaming. Make sure you follow everybody in the group, but shout out, she's one of our admins for Black Gamers United in the building.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
she was gonna
Hey,
say the thoughts on Civil War. Have you guys seen that movie?
No, I plan on
no,
seeing it soon, but I have not seen it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I read that. I read a synopsis of it, and there's nothing really interesting in it to me. But just touching on your point, saying the reason why the Crow sequels were all absolute trash,
dumpster fires.
dumpster fire trash, is because they were all pure cash grabs. That's
Yep.
all.
Well,
That's all that they
They
wanted to
just
do.
run the IP for
even
the
the
cash
video
grab.
game sucked.
Yeah,
Uh,
they just wanted to capitalize in on that, which part of the reason for the massive popularity of The Crow was Brandon Lee's final performance. So
And even
they're
that
all
was one not 100% him either.
yeah.
So
right. Just well, except for that final,
yeah,
for that
Yeah.
one scene. But yeah, and that is still just it gets ghoulish, and that's the way Hollywood is. But
Yep.
yeah.
yeah, getting on to Civil War. First of all, the absolute fucking audacity of having California and Texas aligned as a faction.
Didn't work for
Well,
you.
I will
I'm
tell you
like,
this. I did see I did see a good portion of the movie, and I will tell you this. That's some scary shit.
Yeah.
right,
Because Kristen Dunst, I can't remember the other actors it was, but Kirsten Dunst was in the movie, and that shit is reality type scary.
yeah, it
Like,
is,
Okay,
and
you
maybe
know,
it's worth
if a
watching
civil
on once it
war,
hits HBO
yeah,
Max or something like that.
yeah,
yeah,
if it's a real civil war, like shit will hit the fan for real.
right.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I agree with you on all that, man. It's just one, it is a little too close to current events, but okay. So you got California and Texas. Okay, not even Central California or California Valley eastward and Texas. The whole entire state of California and Texas
Yeah.
are
That's
one
crazy.
political unity.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Now,
crazy.
I could
Hey.
believe it if it was like I said, Central California going east, allied with Texas. Yes, I can believe that. And coastal California, allied northward with Oregon and Washington.
Right?
Okay, maybe a little bit of Idaho Idaho and Utah would work together. They'd probably join in the East California Texas alliance thing, but yeah, it's just
Yeah,
the
I'll say it
setup
like
is
this.
too much.
I'll say it like this. War. What's that? Well, I forget what the saying is directly, but war makes for some strange bedfellows.
Oh yeah,
Wartime makes for some strange bedfellows, and I would say that falls right in line with that one.
I agree that that's what they were trying to do,
Yeah.
but there's strange bedfellows and there's waking up next to a dog in the bed.
Uh,
It's not even the
Well,
same species here.
yeah. Okay. So okay.
yeah,
Well, I say
yeah. Never mind.
I
No,
got
I
to
was
move
just
us along.
okay.
Thanks for
I was
the.
just gonna make one last
Okay,
thought.
go
Yeah,
for
Think
it.
about the
Wrap us
movie.
up.
Think about the movie Red Dawn,
right.
1984.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wolverines. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
For sure. All right. So the next movie on our list, just to wrap us up, we got this one, and then we got two more, and then we got two at once. We're gonna double team a couple movies. Um,
Okay.
all right. So the next movie that's up is one that I'm saying boo. I will most likely boycott it, just like the last one. Um, I am a fan of certain movies never being remade, and Nosferatu is one of them. It's a gothic horror film written by Robert Eggers. It's starring Bill Skarsgård. There's that name again as Count Orlok, following Werner Herzog's Nosferatu the Vampire in '79 and David Lee Fisher's Nosferatu: A Symphony of Horrors from 2023. It is the third remake of the 1922 film, written by Henrik Galeen and directed by F.W. Murnau, or Murnau, which is
Or
in
no.
turn which in turn is an unauthorized and unofficial adaptation of Bram Stoker's 1897 novel Dracula. So
Right.
that's a little history on the movie, but I'm just not about this movie. Like I've seen the original, like the 1922
20s.
Nosferatu,
Yeah,
and I've read I don't know if they were altered, but I've read versions of Bram Stoker's Dracula book.
yeah.
I
But
enjoyed
yeah,
I enjoyed the 1922 film. I thought it was very well done. The remakes have just tried to capture a magic that's not around anymore.
right.
Um, Go on, Dave.
I mean, for the time, the 22 Nosferatu with Max Schreck
Yeah,
as Count Orlok um, is beautiful cinematography, tense, beautiful horror film. Just that creeping shadow that you see uh, in there.
yes,
It's equal to some of the best horror that's being put out today. I agree. I mean, aside from the Werner Herzog adaptation,
mm,
there's I don't think that there's ever been a need for to revisit it.
no, they're yeah, no. So, Saint, any thoughts on Nosferatu 2024? No.
I've barely seen a little of the original, and the only other time I ever really did see a Nosferatu character type was what was the name of that movie? Salem's Lot.
Yeah, which is also in production.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
I
Anyway,
can't.
All
but
right.
Oh,
So
that's
that,
that's about it. That's about it.
all right.
yeah.
So moving forward to a movie we should all be looking forward to. At least the kids inside of us should be, and that is the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 film, which is due out in
I'm there
December
for
of
it.
this year. Um,
I'm there
if
for it.
I would say this, you got what? It's June now, 6 more months. I have this weird feeling that the Knuckles series is going to have something that jumps forward into that movie. So I would suggest you go to Paramount Plus and watch the Knuckles series. It's really good.
I
Just
already
finished it up
watched
with
it.
my daughter. Yeah,
I
it was
binged.
super
Yeah,
dope.
I binged it. I binged it like it was just one day when I think I was in the middle of something, and I binge watched the whole damn thing, and it was
Nice,
good.
Dave.
Um, Another film that just I'm not a Sonic guy. I'm not a Sonic or a Mario guy. I've
Mm.
never been a fan, platformer fan. So it's like I'm not qualified to judge it. Just not doing anything for me. So
This
Sorry,
movie has
yeah,
Sonic's the
Keanu
dude.
some
Reeves.
Oh,
if
I
you
know.
go see this movie has Keanu Reeves. If you go see it for no other reason, go see it for that. Keanu Reeves and Idris Elba in the same goddamn movie. How often are we gonna get
Yeah.
that? But
Favorite
nah,
section of your collection. Wait a minute, hold on. Favorite section of your collection. Which collection, J Bo? Because I'm just wanted to see.
Yep.
uh, I'll say, but we have Jim Carrey returning in his role. Of course, Idris Elba
Right. Which,
as
you know,
Knuckles.
um, it's great to see Jim Carrey having career renaissance. You know,
Yeah.
hey, that's fine. I ain't even mad about all
Figures and
that.
such. Figures and such, like collector, like
Oh, collector's figures.
Dave.
I
That's your department, bro.
Yeah.
Because
To
you
be honest
you
with you,
you
the my most favorite figure that I have is the Funko Pop of me that my ex fiance bought me. It's literally a
Nice.
Funko
oh
Pop bobblehead of me.
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
No,
Holding a tablet and a
no,
mic.
I think right now my favorite one is the character from the Mandalorian, Carl Weathers. I can't remember what his name
Grief
is. Yeah,
Karga.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting that because it was a whole bunch of and I hate to say it, black characters. I bought at a GameStop and they were for very cheap. So I got all of them.
Yeah. Um, I would say, and Kev saw this after the last podcast. Uh, my favorite part of the collection, my favorite figurines, um, my two Soul of Chogokan, which is a toy line by uh, Takara
Nice.
that do giant
Oh,
robots, both
right.
Voltrons, vehicle and lion. And Kev, after I showed you the lion,
Mm.
I was putting him back up. It fell off the display case, hit the floor.
Oh,
No way.
I got some repairs to do on the blue lion.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
that
Yep.
sucks.
Are you
It does.
serious,
Yeah.
man?
Nothing else broke
Yeah.
in there, so everything else is intact. Everything else is fine, but
A
yeah,
little
it just
damage, huh?
a little bit of
Damn.
damage. And I mean, I'm not one of those guys where it's like it has to stay in mint condition in the box. No, I'm going to play with it, so I'm
Yeah.
going to expect that there's going to be some wear and tear on it. So
Yeah.
it's just, but it's like, yeah, I was absolutely heartbroken on it. But yeah,
Oh,
I got to do a little bit of fixing on the Blue Lion. So
my heart goes out to you, man. I want to say, well, actually, if you want to talk, like, I went through this phase in 2020, of course, being trapped in the house, and a little bit since where I had a bunch of like Lego collectibles. Uh, well, I'll say Lego collectibles that I purchased and that
Okay,
I put
somebody
together,
has static. Is that me?
or is it me?
it says be more humble gaming.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it says you have static. Yeah, I think it's a question. Do you have static?
Oh
Oh,
no, no, I don't. I don't own
oh,
any static figures. I do own, like I said, I built a bunch of different various. You can't see them behind me, but like Lego Avengers and
Yeah.
Lego like various. Actually, ironically, for those of you who want to like put together random like non like pop culture robot like Lego things, look on Wish, like, or not Wish, Geek. Like, I went on Geek, which is basically a little sub app to Wish, and I bought a bunch of stuff. Yeah, sometimes it would take 6 to 8 weeks to get it, but there were some great like models in there and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
just a place to find some that if you're a big Lego person like I am, to find some figures and stuff like that to put
And
together.
last note on my personal collection horror stories.
Mm.
Um, Kev Saint, you remember the living room where I had the Lego starships from the Old Republic
Yeah.
and Jetfire and a couple of other Transformers.
Mm.
yeah.
So
I saw some of those.
yeah, so had a house break in and all that was stolen.
Oh no.
Yeah. So the
Oh
Lego
no.
Old Republic ships, gone. My Jetfire, gone.
I'd be
Soundwave,
pissed.
oh
I would be
yeah, oh
pissed.
yeah, I am extremely pissed in there. Soundwave and all the Decepticon cassettes, gone. Blaster and the Autobot cassettes, gone.
That's
So
man.
yeah, so
That's 6 degrees. That's 6 degrees of fucked right there,
I
man. I'm
still have
sorry.
now I still have my original Optimus Prime and my original Megatron
Wow.
in storage. So yeah, I'm good there. But still, yeah, I just have not had luck. And the fact that I'm not buying anything from Hasbro anymore, and Hasbro makes all the stuff that I love,
Means it's irreplaceable.
Transformers, Star Wars, G.I. Joe in there, it's like it just makes it really difficult because I'm just going original, off eBay stuff. Okay. Oh yeah, and also the Devastator that I had was gone.
Oh, damn.
Superion, gone.
All right. Well, on that note, on that
Yeah.
sad note, we'll walk right on into our
That's fucked up, y'all.
our only commercial break of the night. Check out about some other shows on some of our other platforms as well.
And
And
when we get back, I'll have my GoFundMe up if you want to donate to the Rebuild Dave's collection fund.
there you go. And we'll come back and talk some video games. I'll kick us off with some retro gaming talk
You bet.
from one of those little gaming sticks. So I'm double K double A, otherwise known as Dark Lord 100. That there is Dave, otherwise known as RuneScribe. Below me is the Saint, aka Agent K28. We are the Cheap Pop Podcast, and we'll be right back. Peace.
You got to keep it, keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it, keep it. You got to keep it lovely. Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I'm being real with this. Please don't judge me, I'ma stay on my shit. I'ma keep it.
Poetic beats. This is now versus then. 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 This is now versus then.
You getting on my nerves. You getting on my nerves. Gang, gang, bitch. You getting on my nerves. Gang, gang, bitch. You getting on my nerves. Get your titty, get your titty, get your titty on. Gang, gang, bitch. Get your titty, get your titty, get your titty on. I said what I said. No, please don't tell on me. No.
Saturday night on the First GenXers Radio Network on Live 365.
You are my everything.
Sick and tired of hearing all these people talk.
I'll never break. These arms won't let. Be my love, I wanna be my love.
So join us on Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We are back. What's up? What's up? What's up? As Martin would say. For those of you who don't remember Martin because you're too damn young, Martin Lawrence used to have a television show for about 6, 7 seasons that was bombing.
Oh, and he's coming back with Will for Bad Boys Forever.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That one we will be talking about because I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But we are back out of the commercial break, and y'all know what we do here. Y'all know what we do. We don't do nothing half-ass. So guess what, guys? It's time for that's right, cheap pop game reviews. All right, so guys, I told y'all we was gonna kick it off with a little bit of retro gaming talk. Now, I have approximately like 3 or 4 of these systems that were purchased for me by my ex fiance. Uh, but this one in particular was nice. It's this little stick. You plug it in to the back of your HDMI, and it has about 20,000 different games. Now, to show you how Japanese this thing is, um, it's the names of the systems that it has are the Game Boy Advance, the Famicom, the Super Famicom, and I don't know what they called the Sega Genesis in Japan, but it's just the initials are MD. And same
Mega
thing with
Drive.
your Mega Drive,
Yeah.
and the same thing with the PlayStation. I'll forget what they called that one. But yeah, it has games from all of these systems on it. So far, I've managed to find the Tecmo Bowl with Bo Jackson, one of the only games in which I'll ever play as the Raiders. Those of you who know me know I'm a 49ers fan, but I can't pass up playing with Bo Jackson. I found WWF Superstars, the original one that only has Hulk Hogan, Honky Tonk Man, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage, Big Boss Man, and I forget who the other one was. I believe Andre the Giant. But Andre the Giant and Million Dollar Man were the champions, tag team champions that you had to go face. Uh, I've played 2020 Super Baseball. I don't know if any of you guys remember that. It was a really annoying game in the arcade where you would pay a quarter and you get to play 3 innings of a 9 inning game before you had to put in another quarter. So it basically caused you to have to spend at least 75 cents to complete one game of baseball. But it was an amazing game. Been playing that a lot. I started playing again and unfortunately figured out that it can't be saved, so I have to go on ahead and figure out how to get a little SD card for it so I can save my games. But I've been playing A Link to the Past. I never got to play it on the original Super Nintendo. So I'm going to play it. No, I did get to play it, but I never got to finish it. So I'm going to play it and finish it on this little gaming stick. But this thing is amazing. It can't cost more than about, what, 40, $50 if you buy it off of Amazon, and it's completely worth it. But you guys, your thoughts on these little gaming sticks and emulators that they're selling out there?
Okay, let me just quickly acknowledge Charmaine the villain. I see you. Welcome into the
What's up?
welcome into the Cheap Pop podcast as well as
Hey,
Ryo Boss 12. I seen you yesterday. I seen you, man. I seen you. I definitely appreciate you tapping in, and Charmaine, welcome in because I've seen some of your music streams. Yeah, I'm the one that's been tapping in, so I got it. I got you.
All right.
yeah.
I got you.
Saint, I believe you said you own one of these, don't you?
Yeah, I actually own one of these. There's about 64,000 games on there, or approximately 10 different consoles on there, everything from Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo. You have all of the Japanese versions, the European versions, Mega Drive, Sega Genesis, Wonder Swan, um, what is that? TurboGrafx 16, and even including arcade games. And PlayStation, about 30 PlayStation games, and maybe about half of the Dreamcast systems, which I love because I still play those. But
Swab said his had what was it, the Neo Geo games too.
yeah, I
Mhm.
had those too.
Yeah.
And I own one of those and I still play it. I mean, like right now I can't plug it up because I have to get one of those type of old school
Plugs. Yeah.
adapters and
Yeah.
shit. But yeah, like 60,000 games on there, man. I couldn't play that all them games in a lifetime, and I'm already, you
Well,
know.
I
Oh,
will
there were
say this.
GameCubes on there, and there were
Was it?
GameCube games on there too.
I will
Forgot
say
about that.
this. The only thing I will say is beware and understand. It has 30,000, 20,000, 40,000, 60,000 games, but you may have anywhere upwards of 10 to 12 versions of the same game.
Right.
Yeah,
Like if I put in like Tetris, like it's like 20 something different versions of Tetris comes up. So you do get the games, but you do get 60,000 games, but like in reality maybe you're getting closer to like 5,000, and a lot of them have like 10, 15 different versions of the game. But go on, Dave.
No, I mean, it's. I think it's cool. It's just more um, differences how the
GameCube,
East
nice.
versus West mindsets
true.
are.
Yeah.
Where I mean, in Japan and China, they will just license the shit out of everything that they own
Mm.
to be produced, um, regardless of quality or anything like that. And it's hit or miss sometimes. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's a hit.
How many Dragon Ball Z games you got on there, Kev?
Oh, I'd say close to upwards of 100 different
Yeah, see,
like different games and different variations of games.
yeah,
Um,
see,
the
that's
ones
the
that
fuckery.
yeah, the ones that I was excited about, and I can't wait to talk to y'all about it as I dig back into these games for the first time since I was back in high school. They had Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 5, and Final Fantasy 6. For those of you who don't know, Final Fantasy 6 is actually
It's
Final
fun.
Fantasy 3 stateside.
Yeah.
So I believe I believe 4 and 5 were 1 and 2 here, weren't they?
Uh,
uh,
well,
But
let
they
me
were all
see.
listed as with the for they were all listed as with the Super Nintendo, and like yeah, I
Okay,
can't wait to
because
dig in.
let me see because Final Fantasy was on the Nintendo,
Yeah.
2, 3, and I believe 4 was on the Super Nintendo
Okay,
and
so
possibly 5.
maybe it's 4 and 5 then. Maybe it's 3, 4, and 5. But it was actually 4, 5, and 6 out there. But whatever it is, I'm about to get into some old school gaming. Oh, I've also played Punch Out, bro. Man, it's been so
Now
long.
wait a
Super
minute. Now
Punch Out,
now
not
which
Mike
fun?
Tyson's Punch
Okay.
Out. Not Mike
Okay.
Tyson's Punch Out. It was Super Punch Out, the one that came out for the Super Nintendo. I
Okay.
can't find Mike
That's
Tyson's
fun.
Punch Out.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And you know what? Actually, because I do have Mike Tyson's Punch Out, but then I also have the one with Mr. Dream on there, the
mhm.
secondary one, the one that was when Mike Tyson got pulled from the game.
Yeah.
Right.
And I played a little double dribble and I still suck at that game. But go
Oh,
on, David.
sorry.
Oh, then you suck
Just
there, bro. Sorry.
just a tangent. So apparently, Iron Mike has an ulcer.
Yeah.
So the fight with
Jake Paul.
is been delayed.
Yeah. It's been postponed.
Fuck.
It's
Yep.
okay. It just means Mike's going to get in a better shape. It just
Yeah.
means Mike's going to get in a better shape.
I just want to see. I just want to see somebody. Well, I'm going. I got to run with Iron Mike, but man, I just man, Jake Paul, like, or
Yep.
wait a minute, is it Jake Paul
It's Jake
Yep.
Paul.
or is it Aaron?
No,
No.
it's Logan Paul is his
Logan,
brother.
Logan.
Logan is the
Okay,
brother.
Logan.
He's the one that's in WWE. Jake Paul
Yeah.
is the one who's fighting
yeah,
nobodies and winning fights.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, but at the end of the day, like that particular thing is those emulators I love. It's kind of like, to me, like just about as good as being able to download and play your Xbox Game Pass games on your computer. Like that's
Yeah.
savage.
Yeah.
Um, but
Savage.
all right, fellas, I think I'm going to go on ahead and wrap us up there.
Okay.
So, any final things to say, gentlemen?
Well, not much. I'm just, I'm just glad that I am happy to announce that we have finally made 600 viewers, 600
Woo!
followers.
Yep.
I definitely, I want to give you guys all the praise out there for the viewers that have tapped in, because we've been going hard in the paint for the last year, because we've been on Twitch since 2021, but we never really was invested into it that hard until my health issues started kicking off. But then we just wanted to start bringing it in and bringing our radio shows and our radio stuff over to the visual side of it. So I'm very thankful. We got a lot more coming at y'all, though.
Oh,
It's a
and
lot, a hell of a
Yeah.
lot more.
let me make this announcement right now as well while Saint's talking about that. If you guys did miss some of this show and would like to listen to it again, it will rerun. The audio version of this show will rerun on Tuesday at 12:45 p.m. on our live 365 First Gen Xers Radio Network station, where we run a bunch of
Yes.
classic episodes and then we rerun these episodes. If you want to rehear the KD5P from Saturday night, it re-airs at 3:20 on Thursdays. His MVT Deuce from later tonight will rerun, or sorry, his MVT Deuce from Tuesday will rerun on Wednesday at 9:35 a.m. And then, like I said, the classroom, which normally airs 7 o'clock on Sundays here on Twitch, will replay on Fridays at 9:05. So and then on top of that, you can find some of these shows as well on. You'll be able to find us as well on Spreaker, an audio
Yep.
podcast that you can download at any time
Yeah.
that you want to. So there's multiple places where you can hear us after you watch us live here on
Yeah,
Twitch.
we got shows coming to Spreaker too. So
Okay.
yeah, that's coming
So
real
let's
hard.
kick it off with Dave. Where can we see you next, bro? After this.
I will be doing night shift, more Uden Chronicle, 100 Heroes tonight, midnight Pacific time.
Oh
Or
yeah, I
Saint.
forgot. Oh yeah, tonight, and then immediately 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, I will be running an episode of MVT Deuce. Got some new tracks on the way. Um got a few classics in there, but definitely it's gonna be fun.
For sure. And
Yeah.
as for me, there's no classroom tonight. We'll be back next week with Miss O'Malley. She got a bunch of friends graduating, so couldn't do it this weekend.
No, it's all
But
good.
I will personally be back with, depending on if Saints kicking it off
Uh,
live, I should
yeah,
be
and I'm
on
gonna
at.
rate, and I'm gonna do a raid
There you
today.
go.
I think we should try to do that. So let
For
me
sure.
try to see
Um,
who we're gonna
but
raid.
but I will be back tonight with FC 24 and NHL 24. Probably about a good 2.5 hour stream. So be sure to check me out there.
Yeah.
Uh, RuneScribe tonight at midnight Pacific time. Saint at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. And hey y'all,
Let
that's
me
it for
see.
now.
Hold on. Okay,
Okay.
well, hold on. Let me find out.
Saint's gonna rage out.
I'm gonna raid somebody out, but I'm trying to find out who I'm gonna raid to, because like right now, we're getting a lot of folks tapping in, but we're gonna
Oh,
give it to.
before we do that,
Yeah, what's up?
go on to our Facebook page. Scroll down a little bit. I need to figure out how to pin it, but I put a poll up on there asking you guys, the viewers, what you want to see more of us doing video game wise in there. All different genres. Vote as many times as you want in terms of different genres, um, just so that we get more of a
Oh,
feel of what you guys want and what you're excited for, what we're
oh,
doing, what you like.
yeah, we're gonna raid Be More Humble,
Okay.
and because I'm trying to see. I thought I was gonna be rating somebody else, but I didn't get it on the list. But yeah, we're gonna run over to
All right.
be more humble,
All right. Well,
tapping in.
till next week, y'all. Peace. This has been the Cheap Pop Podcast.
See ya.
Hold on.